spilled her beer on my wife's feet and ignored it. We were at the recent Wu-Tang Clan show at Madison Square Garden the other night, and this small group of people in front of us seemed to be having a great time. It was an odd pairing of two middle-aged folks and what I'm assuming was their 30-something-year-old daughter? Not sure. Anyway, you could tell she was a type. Taking selfie videos every 5 minutes and had no idea why she was there other than to party. Which, to be fair, that's fine and I don't really care if people do it regardless of how cringy I find it. But she was flailing herself all around and dancing like she was the next Oracle of Delphi. This is where we had a problem. She had sat her large beer cup on her seat, and my wife's seat was just behind hers. About 1 minute after she set it there, she did one of her prophecy reading maneuvers and knocked the beer over backwards onto my wife's feet and filling one of her shoes partially. It also splashed over onto one of my buddies sitting in the row on the other side of my wife's seat. This woman-child looked back at me and my wife in horror for 1 second, realized she had messed up, and then decided she was going to go on about her business and ignore the issue completely. She did not apologize, she didn't acknowledge, she just kept on going. This was the moment that upset me the most. Sure, getting a beer down your shoe sucks, but what really sucks is when the person who does it has absolutely no remorse for what they had done, accident or not, and chooses not to apologize. So, I did what any normal person would do in that situation. I picked up the beer cup, they had lids with large holes, but still some form of lid so it was still about half full, and removed the lid, and dumped it all over her seat, foam cushion for good absorption, and a small amount over the front onto her feet as well. She looked back for a brief second when her feet got wet and we met eyes as I was doing my best customer service style smile for her while holding the now empty beer cup over her seat. She quickly looked away and continued her dancing, choosing to continue to ignore the situation. The best part was her knowing she couldn't sit down but also not wanting to tell the two she was with what had happened because she already accepted mentally she wasn't going to admit fault. So she stood awkwardly when the other two sat down and after a minute the guy, father, also quite intoxicated, pulled her down into her seat after she was hesitating for so long. The beer started oozing out of the cushion the second she sat down and she convulsed, TBH, in about the same way she had been while standing the whole time, and writhed around in the beer chair for a minute while being held into it by her male companion, you have to love it, before standing back up with a completely soaked ass full of beer. Her pants were wet from the belt line, down past her knees. She continued to get pulled down into her seat by the guy multiple other times before the show ended. I don't think I've had a small petty revenge work out so well in my favor before and it was quite thrilling. Thankfully I was able to put a smile back on my wife's face after she saw her stand back up the first time.